Bull Nation. What is up, guys? I hope you're on top, making the changes you want to make, doing the things you want to do. And today we're going to talk about, as a continuation of our teacher series, my two science teachers. And science teachers are very interesting people. They're very intellectual, but sometimes have a way of not being able to communicate. But I had two science teachers who were, like I said, very intelligent, but could also communicate in a way that was not necessarily orthodox, but presentable, so to speak. And it was very interesting. And these were two of my most profound teachers, for sure, while I was in school. And so I'll give you a few nuggets of what they taught me. The first science teacher I had was very euphoric. He was a man of nature, very scientifically driven, very rational person, if you ask me, but he was very laid back, and he had this sense of always kind of living in the moment, but living as if life was good. And I really love that. He was laid back. He had a philosophy of he was doing the best he could, and that was the best he had to offer, and it's a really interesting perspective. But what he really gave to me was that sense of always giving your best, and two, always giving what you had. So he told us once we left, he was the one teacher we could always go back to. In fact, he was the one teacher when no other teachers had belief in me. He was the one who said, "Trevor, I believe in you. I see something in you." That one person we talk about who, when nobody else could see anything in you, they saw it. He was that one person. He was my visionary when I didn't have a vision. And one of the reasons I work so hard, one of the reasons I do what I do is because of him and the people like him. So I definitely thank him for that. But there's two things you take away from that. One, always be happy with where you are. Understand your blessings. Understand that you're might not be where you want to be, but you're in a good place. And two, always give more to others than you give to yourself. You apply those two principles, it'll take you really far. Now, my second science teacher was really interesting. And oh man, I could talk words about this guy. He probably wouldn't even know. But when I talk about science teachers, it's really interesting. And he had a demeanor of a kid, and I loved it. He's what you call the childish one, the youngest baby, whatever you want to call it. I loved it because it's a mindset that allows you to enjoy life. And although at times there's time to do adult things, there's a lot of times where you can still be a child, still act like you're young, not get so caught up in the ruckus and the whole dogma associated with being an adult. It's unnecessary sometimes. Sometimes you just need to let your hair down, have a little fun, and not worry about what people are saying. And he was really good at doing that. This is absolutely phenomenal. And there was one characteristic that defines him. It was always having a good time. It was not worrying so much about what people said, but taking heed to what meant most to him. It was really defining his life the way he wanted to and having fun at all walks of life, not just sometimes, all the time. He really integrated, being young, being youthful with what he did, and it really changed the environment. It changed the culture of his classroom. And that's something I think we can take on. We think about how you change as you grow up, and you lose so many things. You lose your dreams, your aspirations, you lose your way of life. And he did a really great job keeping all those intact while maintaining that professional demeanor and keeping the classroom the way a classroom should be. The second concept that he brought about is hindsight versus foresight. And I haven't had a lot of time to dig into it, but it's one of those things that I think is, once you understand it, it's this mind changing shifts that only occur a few times in your life. And like I said, I haven't had a lot of times, but what was really interesting about him and the previous science teacher was they always had these huge ideas. They may not go into all the details. They may not tell you exactly how it works, but there was definitely some underlying ideas. And that was one of them that I think is so rash, but it goes back to the principle of having an idea. So that's definitely something I'll do a video. That's definitely something I'm going to research for myself, but I hope to expand your knowledge on it as well. But it goes back to the premise of having big, rash ideas. The more you think, the better off you'll be. Now, it does come as a catch-22 because you have to think and you have to do, but it starts with thinking. And those science teachers were always thinking. They were thinking about how to make things better. They were thinking about how to make things more enjoyable, how to change it up, how to do things a little outside of what people were expecting. And for that, like I said, that experience was second to none. But what they gave me was so unique that I couldn't replace it with anybody else. It was so just almost tailor-made that me going anywhere else, I kind of would have lost that. And it was very interesting to see what a science teacher and all their uniqueness can teach an individual like myself. And so for that, I definitely say thank you for all the wisdom that not only my previous science teachers have given me, but all the ones that I haven't necessarily done a video about, and all the ones in the future I look forward to working to. With that being said, I hope you like what you're seeing. If you do, like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any of your favorite teachers, make sure you give them a shout out. Make sure you let them know you enjoy what they did, you appreciate what they did, because at the end of the day, that's one of their largest gratifications. Keep that in mind. That's what they do their job for. It's not always the money. A lot of times it's more the spiritual gratifications that mean the most to them. So keep that in mind. And like I said, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys on top in the next video.